Good morning, ladies. It's Mr. O'Sullivan here. We're going to be doing our day 2 of solving equations. I'm giving you a heads up. The equations are going to be a little more challenging, but everything is the exact same. We're still going to use our procedure PCVNA to solve for our missing variable. So today's learning target is still I can solve an equation by using the PCVNA technique. And just so we can recall, our steps for this equation solving process are parentheses, which we get rid of by distributing. C, combine your like terms one side at a time. V, variable to the left-hand side of your equal. Numbers to the right-hand side of your equal. And A, get rid of your attached number by dividing. It's not always division. Occasionally you can multiply, but 99.9% of the time we're going to divide. Okay. Let's go on to our level 4 questions. So if you remember yesterday, we did up to level 3, which is where we have x's on both sides. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at equations with distribution on level number 1, so forth. Okay. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have x's on both sides with our distribution. So question number 1, we have 3 times x minus 10 equals negative 9. I have to ask myself, do I have parentheses? So I do PCVNA. So do I have parentheses? Yep, I have parentheses. And I get rid of them by distributing. So I distribute my 3 to my x and my 3 to my negative 10. Remember, we get rid of distribution by multiplying. So I do 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. And that's equal to negative 9. Right now, we just have a 2-step equation. I have to ask myself, can I combine anything? Nope, I can't combine my 3x and my 30, and I can't combine negative 9 with anything on its side. Now I have to ask myself, are all my variables on the left-hand side? Yep, my x's are on the left-hand side. Now I have to ask myself, are my numbers on the right-hand side? And I look, and I'm like, you know what, I actually don't. My negative 30 is over here. So I have to ask myself, how do I get rid of that minus 30? Well, the inverse of subtraction is addition, so I'm going to add 30 to both sides. So I add 30, my 30s cancel, so I get 3x equals negative 9 plus 30, which is 21. Now, all my numbers are on the right-hand side, so I have to ask myself, how do I get rid of that attached 3? So I'm going to box it, and to get rid of that multiply by 3, I simply divide by 3, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. After dividing both sides by 3, my 3's are going to cancel, and I get x equals 7. And that's your final answer. Now let's go on to the next one. So for this example, I still have a 3. So I have to do my PCVNA technique. So PCVNA. Do I have parentheses? Yep. I have parentheses. How do I get rid of them? By distributing. So I distribute my 3 to my x and my 3 to my 7. What's 3 times x? 3x. What's 3 times 7? 21. So I have 3x plus 21 equals 45. Nothing to combine. My variables are already on the left-hand side. I need to get rid of this plus 21. How do I get rid of a plus 21? Yep, I subtract 21. Subtract 21, subtract 21. 21's cancel, so I get 3x equals 45 minus 21. 45 minus 21 is 24. And now all my numbers are on the right-hand side, and I got to get rid of that 3, my attached number, by dividing. So divide by a 3. So x equals 8. And that's your final answer. We're going to start number 3 together, and then you're going to finish it. So for this example, I have a 2 on the outside, so I still do PCVNA. I distribute this 2 to my 2x and to my minus 6. I have to ask myself, what's 2 times 2x? It's 4x. You have to do 2 times 2. I then do 2 times the negative 6, and I get a minus 12, so I have 4x minus 12 equals 28. Go ahead and solve it. So after you added 12 to both sides, you should have gotten 4x equals 40. your 12s are going to cancel. And then you need to divide by 4 because that's your number attached. So x equals 10. What I would like you to do is, using number 3 as your model, try to do number 4 completely by yourself and tell me what y is equal to. So after distributing your 7 to your 2y and your minus 10, I get 14y minus 70 equals 14. To get rid of my minus 70, I add 70 to both sides, so they're going to cancel each other out. I then get 14y equals 84. The only way to get rid of this 14 is to divide. So I divide. They cancel, and I get y equals 6. Let's go on to our next level of challenging questions. And level number 5. So we're going to do equations of distribution and combining like terms. And so these are the level 5 questions. On Tuesday, we're going to look at the level 6 questions, which is our final level, where we basically just mishmash everything together. So our level 5 questions are equations with distribution and combining like terms. On Tuesday, we're going to end up having distribution on both sides, x's on both sides. It's going to be a whole whirlwind. So we know how to distribute. So we're going to rewrite PCVNA. And what we have to do is we have to distribute our negative 5 to both terms. So we have to distribute our negative 5 to our negative 2x and our negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 2x is a positive 10x, because a negative and a negative make a positive. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And then I just have my minus 1x minus 1. And I'm going to put a 1 in front of it to make it easier for myself. And that's all equal to negative 12. I have to ask myself, can I combine like terms? So this is where I mean combine only on one side. So I'm going to combine my like terms. And I'm going to say to myself, my like terms on the left-hand side are a 10x and a minus 1x. I'm going to ask myself what 10x minus 1x is, and 10x minus 1x is 9x. Now I'm going to ask myself, can I combine anything else? You got it. I can combine a positive 25 and a minus 1. 25 minus 1 is positive 24. And that's equal to negative 12. So now that I've combined all my like terms, this is just turned into a two-step equation. All my variables are on the left-hand side, so there's no need to worry about moving my 9x's or any of my x's. I now need to get my numbers to the right-hand side. So I'm going to subtract a 24, and I get 9x equals negative 12 plus a negative 24, or negative 12 minus 24, whichever your heart desires, and I get negative 36. Now, how do I get rid of my 9? I divide by both sides. So I divide both sides by a 9. Please don't just say 9 both sides. Actually say I'm dividing by a 9. So I'm dividing. My 9's cancel, and I get x equals negative 4. And that's the level of difficulty that most of the questions will be at. So a lot of the level 4, level 5, and level 6 questions. Let's do one more together, and then you're going to try one by yourself. I have negative 2 times 3x minus 4 minus x minus 3 equals 33. PCVNA. I ask myself, do I have parentheses? Yep, I have parentheses. I'm going to distribute my negative 2 to both terms. So negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times the negative 4 is a positive 8. Again, I'm doing my minus 1x minus 3 equals 33. So now I have to ask myself, can I combine any like terms? Yep, I can. I can combine my negative 6x and my negative 1x. Negative 6x minus 1x is negative 7x. And now I can combine my positive 8 and my negative 3. 8 minus 3 is a positive 5, and that's equal to 33. I have to ask myself, are all my variables on the left-hand side? Yep, they are. My negative 7x is on the left-hand side. I have to ask myself, how do I get rid of my positive 5? You got it. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides because that's my number I want to get rid of. So I get negative 7x equals 28. Now the only way to get rid of that negative 7 is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 7. And I get x equals negative 4. And that's your final answer. All right, all right, all right. Try to do this example by yourself. Okay, if you did this question correctly, you should have gotten negative 10x minus 20 minus 2x plus 2 equals negative 42. Negative 10x and negative 2x are your like terms, so you combine them, and I get negative 12x. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. That's equal to negative 42. So I now have negative 12x minus 18 equals negative 42. The only way to get rid of my 18 is to add. So I'm going to add 18 to both sides, and my 18s cancel. Negative 42 plus 18 is negative 24. The only way to get rid of my negative 12 is to divide. So divide both sides by negative 12, and you get x equals 2. I'm going to ask that you do the distribution for this one by yourself. After you did the distribution, you should get negative 12x minus 9 plus 5x minus 5 equals 0. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is combine your like terms and tell me what you can simplify it to. Okay, so when you finish that question, you should have gotten negative 7x minus 14 equals 0. Add 14 to both sides, then get negative 7x equals 14. Then you want to divide by a negative 7, which yields you a negative 2 as your final answer. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Miss Townsend or Miss Jimenez. Have a great day, ladies.